super grateful here. Welcome everybody, community. Let me turn down this just a little bit here. Welcome, Jim, all the way, special guest star, Coach Jim, all the way from Tucson, Arizona. All right, there we go. Welcome once again. Episode number 359. We'll call this one number 359. And what are we looking for today? We're just looking for you guys to join us. We're going to have another discussion. We talked a little bit about building confidence. We spoke about that last pay period. Anyways, we did speak about that the last time we were together here. Welcome. I want to welcome those of you by way of Facebook, by way of YouTube, and by way of Twitch. The humidity has been a little bit excessive out here in Cali, so I've been twitching just a little bit. No, only in the shower with some soap. So welcome once again, number 359. We're going to do our best to let you know that gambling is a big fat lie. And we're all gambling, by the way. I'm gambling. I'll show you how. Maybe I'll talk a little bit more about it if you'll ask me how I'm gambling. All right. Anyways, get in, put your seatbelt, click it, or you're going to ticket. Click it, get in, turn down your distractions, turn them down. Turn them down. Just turn them down. Grab a pen. Get ready to take a few notes. Some POIs, some points of interest. And who knows, this might be your opportunity tonight to really believe that the lie, the gamble, the psychosis, the dream, the prison that you may find yourself in is a big fat lie. One big fat lie. So thank you. Join me here. If you want to come on the stream, you want to come on the camera, like Jim is doing here all the way from Tucson, you can join me here. Look. All right. Join me there. So Jim, share with us. We were talking about building confidence. We spoke about many good inspirations, right? And solutions.
Yeah, that's right. So I wanted to go and talk about two ideas, that either suppress us, keep us down, or move us to the next level. I was thinking about the idea of clinging to what we have versus pursuing more of what we can go and become, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, it's like oftentimes we just kind of grasp and try to save things that we already have, and we're fearful of losing what we have, so we act very defensively.
Yeah.
And that's opposite of the idea of pursuing more of what we can become, and that's kind of like taking the offense, right? It's two different states of mind, and I'm thinking, what's better to be, defensive or offensive? If you think about it, I think that we just become smaller and smaller when we go defensive all the time. And I guess what I'm trying to get at is the idea of growth. We want to become better, right? We want to go and pursue those nice things on the higher shelves, right? We want to grow, I guess. It's like everyone here on this program wants to grow out of their awful addiction. They want to go ahead and become bigger than their addiction. Something that's something better in life. They want better in their life, right? But that takes growth, right? That takes growth. And growth doesn't happen when we hang on to our old values, like clinging on to our comfort zone. Hanging on to our comfort zone. It seems like it's more doable because you know how to cling on to your comfort zone. It's very, very understood. You're kind of an expert almost on clinging on to your comfort zone, your habits, that take you to that momentary happy place, right? Away from bad thoughts, bad feelings. So, I mean, that doesn't help us. So I'm thinking about the idea of growth. I'm thinking about why do we hang on to our to the comfort zone? Why do we cling to the defense rather than take offense.
Sometimes, Jim, actually it does take being around it takes being around the atmosphere, the correct atmosphere. Most of the time we're not. Most of the time we're not. What's up, MG? Good evening, coach. Good evening to you, community member, partner. The environment that we find ourselves in, Jim, is very conducive to where we're going in life. We could live in a fairy tale. You could live in a fairy tale and you can live out that fairy tale. It may even come true. You might live in a fairy tale, but that fairy tale that you're living in is actually a gamble, a really hard gamble, an ugly gamble. Something that you want to get away from. You find yourself falling. By the way, it's okay to fall. It is okay to fall. You should question your fall. You should question your fall. If indeed you are the type of individual that wants to get ahead, you want to get stronger, right? More confident, as Jim was sharing earlier. You want to, what are you made out of? What are you made of? What are you made? Well, we know what we're made from. We're made from the dust of the earth. But what are you made out of? What are you made for? Right? What are you made for? What am I made for? Let me read the Lamentations. It's actually in the Old Testament today. It's chapter 3, verse 26. Lamentations out of the Old Testament, the King James Version. It says, it is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of the Lord. I got to read that again, folks. One more time here. Lamentations chapter 3, the Old Testament, King James Version. It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of the Lord. Well, I fell down and I went back to the casino and I gambled. I felt bad. I was kind of losing some money, and then I decided to get up and leave. So I lost about $120, but I got up and left. If that's you, if that's how you feel, then you went in, you fell, you made a mistake, you caught yourself, you're catching yourself. Gambling and any addiction that leads to other problems where they get you by the throat, they're a big fat lie. You have to remind yourself. We all gamble. I was realizing that myself, Jim. Maybe you can relate to this. Every time that I come to this broadcast, it's a gamble for me to see if I reach somebody. Every time I put a video up there talking about the 3 quick tips of gambling for 2024, or I walked upstairs and I went to sleep and I didn't wake up, etc. What is that all for? To inspire, to give, to promote, to help you on the other side. Let me see. I was just thinking about something right now, and I was thinking about the gamble. Yeah. Jim, you have a business. You get up every day. Some days it's not quite so good. Kind of feels like a gamble. Is it worth your time, though?
Yeah, I think it's all about giving yourself a chance. Giving yourself a chance. If you are stuck in the comfort zone of your addiction of gambling, you can go ahead and be conned by thinking that, you know what, I'm in this environment where I feel like I'm winning, I'm feeling good, right? But I mean, that's a losing proposition right there. That's like you said, it's a lie. You
Well,
have
that's not true
you
either.
have very poor chances, like negative chances of succeeding and getting better and growing, to a better place. When you get on the airway, when you focus your time learning, developing your business, your craft, yeah, things might fail, sure, right? But you're giving yourself a chance in the positive direction. Every
Yeah.
time you get up, right? That's a chance, right? But you're giving yourself a chance. And you know what I think about life? It's like I was thinking about life and I'm thinking, man, we were built to succeed, because look at us. You said that we're made up of dust, but all this dust came together in an organized manner to
Mhm.
function, to create, to put things together. Yeah, we stumble sometimes, right? But you know what? If you think about it, things work out for the best because we keep going, we keep living, right? We learn.
Get up.
Do that.
Fell in the casino. You got up and you caught yourself. You walked away. That time, the next time you don't, you walk away before you get to the door.
Yeah, so it's about giving yourself a chance. I think about a meat grinder. If you want to go ahead and turn yourself into chaos, you go to your addiction. That's a meat grinder, which turns all this organized life that you have into dust, into particles that are disorganized chaos. That's basically, two roads you can go into. You can go towards, the place where you have negative chance of succeeding in life, and then you can go ahead and move into the positive area where you can give yourself a real chance. So I mean, we have to go and think about, how are we positioning ourselves, to give us that positive chance, not the negative chance, by stepping into the bar, the casino, the drugs, the fast food, your distractions on the internet, whatever that is, right? you know
Dr. Peppers.
Dr. Peppers, all that kind of stuff, the negative attitude. It's like, what kind of chance do you have when you have a negative attitude all the time?
Well, the key is to fall and to get back up, because when sometimes you decide an honorable decision is an honorable decision. That doesn't mean that you're not going to slip again.
Mhm.
A dishonorable decision would mean that you would slip again and that you would stay back. You would go backwards. And instead of getting up and saying, you know what, man, I went 3 days. I went a whole week. If I can do that, I'm gonna let this fall right now. Take out all my winnings, my progress. I've come this far. I've practiced a few times. I've failed a few times, but I've gotten more practices in than falling. That's why your self-talk is so vital. Your ST. We talk about LBs, limiting beliefs. We talk about FTs, focus thieves. We talk about MMPC, mind, mouth, power, congruency. It's a wonderful gift God has given all of us. And it's a sad thing that many don't use it. We all have the ability to get out of the situations we're in. Maybe not fast, right? Sometimes we want to get out of somewhere fast, but it's not meant to happen for you to get out of there fast. It's possibly meant that you got a valuable lesson you're going to be learning through that time capsule of a week or 2 weeks or 6 months that you're going through. It's like we're all in this time capsule, just going through time. What's going on, right? Jim was talking about asking questions. We've forgotten who we are. We've forgotten ourselves. If we're not careful, we're depending too much on X-word things, outward. The pleasure, the pleasures of this world. We can easily get caught up in too much of that. There's nothing wrong with having a balance. You know when there's an imbalance. Nobody really has to tell you. Maybe you need to be around certain key people that are real, people that are honest, people that enjoy being around God, and you'll begin to pick up things in your own life. You'll begin to realize, wow, you know, it's really not about them. It's really not about the others. It's really about me, you know. Um, and again, we all fall. You're gonna fall. Is it Rocky? Sylvester Stallone in the movie said it's not how hard you fall or how far you fall. It's how hard you get hit and how you can come back and keep on going. Something like that. By the way, my condolences, Bill, to your. I just mentioned that. Isn't that weird? I mentioned that. I was talking about making a video with a title. I went upstairs and laid down and never woke up. Sorry for your loss, but definitely the mom is not no longer suffering in this world. That's for true. Smash that button, likes. Share this mission. Yeah, share it if you're interested. If you like what you see, I see quite a bit of a little audience here. I don't know where you all are. You must be hiding the invisible women, the invisible men. Right, you're out there. I can see the numbers. Um, Support the mission, busting uh, addiction busters here. Jim and I, Cephas, when he's available. Soldiersofselfmastery.com would be the website. Thank you, MSG8, for that encouraging word. Go ahead, Jim. I'm waiting for a comment or a question from our studio audience. We're going to be here for not too much, another 15 minutes, folks. I hope you have a question. I would hope that you would challenge me in some way. Even the trolls, they don't even come around that much anymore. But any kind of challenging, I would appreciate. It's a good gamble, I guess, on this broadcast live, number 359. So, and by the way, I'm Coach Santos from Stockton, all the way from Stockton, California. Maybe I forgot to introduce myself. No, I didn't. And Jim is all the way from Tucson, Arizona. So, share, Jim. What's
Yeah,
going on?
it's interesting. I think everyone here wants to get better. Everyone wants to grow and get out of their addiction and be free from the monster, right? People have these goals, but it kind of reminds me of a movie, Stand and Deliver. I don't know if it was like a famous movie with Edward James Olmos portraying a math teacher, Jaime Escalante. True story. Getting a bunch of East LA students to pass a AP calculus test, and he was working with one student, and the student was getting frustrated, and he says, "I need you to do it for me." It's like, no. Jaime Escalante tells the student, "Don't you have the ganas?" "Yes, I have the ganas, but I need you to do that for me." It's like the desire. "Don't you have the desire?" It's like the student says, "Yes, I have the desire." But he didn't know. You see, he was so frustrated because he didn't have the knowledge. He didn't have the information of how to do it. You see, and I think that's what we have. A lot of us, want to get to that next level, but we don't know how, right? And we get confused, we get frustrated, right? And we fall down, right? We fall down, and it's like you talked about, getting back up, right? And it's tough. How can you get back up and take a beating when you can't figure out how to go and stay back up, right? So and I think it's the understanding, the awareness that we have to keep going, and the idea that we were made for success. Yes, we get knocked down, but we learn. We have the right attitude. We keep seeking for information, knowledge. Okay, we go back and reflect on what happened. Okay, this is what happened. This one went wrong. Okay, what can I do? What can I learn? What can I go ahead and watch to go ahead and do better next time? What can I do to be prepared for the next time?
Mhm.
You see, so I think it's that awareness, the knowledge that we need, so that the knowledge that we can overcome whatever misunderstanding that we have or lack of knowledge. So
You
yeah,
can, yeah, timing has a lot to do with where we're at in life, right? Obviously, timing has a lot to do with where we're at in life. Uh, there's many opportunities. The world is full of opportunities. Our lives are full of opportunities for growth, for failure, for practice, for learning. You know, I read this verse and I'll read it again because we're coming to the end of the broadcast pretty soon. But in Lamentations in the Old Testament, I think I believe that one of the major problems that we have, Jim, is that somehow our ears are blocked. Something's blocking the ears from really hearing um, what it is what when we need to hear it at the time we need to hear it, and then time. Oh, let me see. Time passes by, and the same thing happens all over again in some different form, some different way. We are not really paying attention. I believe that that's the problem. Let's see, Lamentations. There we go. Lamentations chapter 3, verse 26. Let me read it again. It is good that a man should both hope. Hope is ongoing. Hope is a goal. Hope is a belief. It's actually a command from God. It's actually a command. God tells us, and of course, who are the ones that are going to do this? Who are the ones that are going to have hope? I believe God has to get involved in there and give us hope so that we can hope in Him, because of ourselves. We'll hope for a little bit and we'll fall off. We'll hope for a little bit, we'll fall off. So it is good for a man or woman should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of the Lord. Now, should we just sit there quietly like a bump on the log, like a frog, on the lily pad, just sitting there? No, we got to there's something that we should be doing, whether it's praying, whether it's reading scripture, whether it's looking to that kind of material, whether it's seeking. And in the meantime, we're asking the master of the heavens, the master of the earth, to guide us in some way. We too much microwave, too many drive-throughs, too much what is it, TV dinners. And there's some good ones out there too. There's some pretty good TV dinners, but you can buy them and quick. You can have them right there when you're hungry, right? You're hungry for something, even though it's not the very best. And we got to stay away from that kind of thinking. The only time that you should be rushing and yelling and kicking and screaming is if there's a fire inside your bedroom. Really. You don't want to do that when a car's coming at you head on. So we have to wait, learn how to be patient, practice. You fell down, get up and practice that thing again. You started a poem for yourself so that you can read it and make yourself remember of God or remember of the scripture or something else. You stop reading it after 3 days, get up again and read it some more. You wrote it. It's a POI, point of interest. And remind yourself that the gamble, especially if it's not a good one, we all gamble, right? We all have a gamble. My gamble is getting up and doing what I have to do. I'm taking a gamble on what I feel God is calling me to do. Sometimes it might be even embarrassing for me a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. Is it a gamble? I'm willing to take this gamble though for some reason, because I know the gamble that I had before, it was bad. It took all my money. It made me feel like Joe Dirt, for worse than Joe Dirt, because I would work for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and I would get some really fat paychecks. And then in a matter of just hours or a few days, those fat paychecks were gone. And on top of that, I should have paid the bills. I remember telling myself, I should have paid the freaking bill before I did this. I should have paid that bill. I should have paid something. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was half of the rent. One time we got kicked out of the house for the final time. We got kicked out of our place that we were renting because I was always coming short with the rent. And the landlord got tired of it. There was some other things that happened too. But, one day before Christmas, he says, "You got to go, man." I couldn't argue with that. Couldn't argue with him at all. I said, "Okay." So there we went, the family and I, my wife and I, and the children. We were young and back out there homeless. But this time we made a difference. I failed. I got up. I failed. I sought help. I got counseling. I got coaching. I read books. I watched videos, tons and tons and tons of videos, and I did lots of journaling. And by the grace of God, I got to where I can stand on my 2 feet now. Anyhow, we're down to the last few minutes. I'm going to give Jim a shout out there. Jim can share, and hopefully those of you that have been here, there's been quite a few. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate you if you support this mission. A like, right? A like or comment, a subscription. Who knows what's going on? You might be able to privately get a session with me for 30, 45 minutes, and I may be able to help you find your solution in that time frame. That's dedication right there. It takes a lot of focus, a lot of energy. Anyhow, I put myself out there for you folks. I'm working on myself every single day. I live in the PNGZ, Permanent No Gambling Zone community. Hopefully you should too. Jim does it, even though Jim's never really been a casino gambler. I don't think he's really ever been. Have you, Jim? Have you ever pulled the slot machines? I don't think you have you? You've just gambled in your other ways with
stocks and cryptocurrencies.
You've never been in a push
fun.
button on one of those machines.
Yeah, I remember my parents would go, my parents would go to Las Vegas a long time ago, take the family. But they were very, they just took advantage of the free comps there,
Yeah.
We bring an ice chest and just bring in our own cold cuts and we just passed the machines. I remember going to Circus, winning an inflatable crayon over there a long time ago. Yeah. So, if we're talking about why we fail, I think it's all because of the lack of focus. There's just too many distractions, and it's like I think in your case, I just went down and down and down until things flipped, and you were able to go ahead and get mega focused on a goal of I got to go and pull my life out of this nonsense. I got to pull my life out of this nonsense. It's like you got to be crystal clear on exactly what you want, right? What do you want in life? What do you want in life? And you got to turn off the TV. You got to turn off the internet. You got to go and just turn off all the news. You got to turn off the politics. You got to go and just turn that stuff off and just be alone with yourself and think, what do I really want in life? And ask yourself, what do I need to go out and do that? What have I been doing? And ask yourself, why hasn't the things that I've been doing working? And you have to go out and stop and meditate on that kind of stuff. Why have been the things that I've been trying not working? And then you start looking at yourself. You start learning about yourself. Instead of avoiding, the problems that you want to avoid, you start kind of looking at, okay, yeah, I have these character flaws. I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of that. This happened in my life, and I programmed myself that I can't do this. I always stumble and fall, and I just avoid it. Turning off all the distractions and start really grinding away at at seeing yourself, looking at yourself and asking yourself, why hasn't the things that I've been doing working? And they say, what can I do to go ahead and find things that work, that allow me to get to my goal? And yeah, I mean, the only thing that we should be focusing on is getting better. We shouldn't be focusing on Joe Biden or Donald Trump. We shouldn't be focusing on, climate change. We shouldn't be focusing on, what our next door neighbor's car, what kind of car he bought. No, we got to focus on ourselves. We got to focus on that goal. And we got to be obsessed about that goal. Just absolutely obsessed. We got to go and wake up and think about that goal. We got to think about what are we going to do today to go and reach that goal,
Yep.
And it has to be day after day after day. And, sometimes we've been just avoiding that. We just been, filling our minds with distraction after distraction after distraction because we don't want to handle, that tough challenge of moving to that next level. But, you got to have that desire. You have to cultivate some type of excitement. You got to cultivate a positive emotion, a burning desire. It's unfortunate. We've been kind of desensitized, I think, Santos. I think we've been desensitized to a lot of good things in life.
Yeah.
Well, think about like food, it's like we have an abundance of nice food, right? And we eat the food. It's like, oh, yeah, that's nice. It could be like a lobster, king crab. Oh, yeah, that tasted great. It's nothing spectacular that moves you. It's like, when you think about, being able to walk and talk and move, we just take that kind of stuff for granted. We don't find that kind of appreciation. And, and when we do move a little bit, we just say, so what? So what? And I think that kind of desensitized state is not good. We need to go ahead and flip the switch and say, I got to get excited. I'm excited about the change that happened today, the growth I saw.
Yeah, we got to get excited. Yeah, that's definitely. We got to close the program here. First of all, I do want to thank those of you that joined. Obviously, Coach Jim, all the way from Tucson, Arizona, he's always here with us, sharing his philosophy and his experiences and stuff. MG08, thank you for my condolences to your family there, by the way. And those of you that go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, rest in peace for Bill's mom. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah. It's in a better place. Better place.
Most definitely. No suffering from here. We hope you're well. And Bill, you know where you can find the community here. You can reach out to us. We do our best to reach out via email, but unfortunately, a lot of people are holding back for some reason. So I just invite you to be a part of this community. This was episode number 359. If you're not subscribed, I'm asking you to subscribe. I'm asking you to subscribe and make sure that you turn your notifications to all. And if you do subscribe, when you do subscribe, leave a comment, share a video, a like. Lets YouTube know that we're doing pretty good here. Helps keep us on the airwaves. All right. So my call to action is write yourself a little poem tonight. Write yourself a little bit of a word, maybe 3 or 4 sentences. What are you going to do? What are you going to start doing over the next few days? What would you like to be doing over the next few days that you haven't been, that maybe you've tried and you gave up on yourself? Write about that and make something like that happen for yourself. And the issue for 7 days, the 7-day challenge, if you don't gamble for 7 days, I'd like to see you next week, Lord willing, if we're here, 7:30 p.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time. I'd like to see you here sharing that you made 7 days without gambling. So the challenge is on. Make sure you write your poem. And with that said, I will conclude this live broadcast. Jim, thank you. 5 seconds, Jim.
Yeah. Have a great week. Think about what Santos said. Set those goals. Understand that, you can go ahead and reach those goals because you're made to succeed. You're made to succeed.
Yeah. All right. With that said, folks, we'll see you at the top. Will I see you at the top on my very next one? Will I see you at the top? All righty then.
Thanks, Santos. You have a great weekend. I'll see you on Wednesday.
Yeah, Lord willing. We'll see you on Wednesday.